All right, let's just jump right in. Picture this, your new coworker, it's not some guy from another department. It's got two legs, two arms, it moves boxes, but it's a robot. I mean, how wild is that? And here's the thing, it's not even that wild anymore, because it's actually happening. Today, we're going to break down how this stopped being sci-fi and became, well, just reality. Yeah, I mean, really think about it. You, personally, you walk into your job on a Monday morning, and there it is, a humanoid machine, doing what you or your teammate used to do. Is that exciting? Or is it kind of unnerving?
It's a question that we're all probably going to have to answer for ourselves, and a lot sooner than we think. So, let's get into the hard facts. Where do things stand right now?
Exactly. This isn't some concept art for a movie 10 years from now. We're talking about robots quite literally clocking in for work today. This stuff has officially left the lab and is on the factory floor. He's right, you know? This is active integration into the very places that make our economy run. We're talking factories, warehouses, those huge logistics centers. They're here. And the scale is just mind-blowing. Let's just take one company, Agility Robotics. They're building a factory that's going to churn out 10,000 of these robots every single year. And that's just one company. Oh yeah, and you have to look at who's bankrolling all this. It's the who's who of tech, right? Amazon, Meta, Google, Tesla. These guys are pouring billions into this space. And let's be real, when they invest, it's not a side project. It's a sign that something huge is about to happen. And all that money leads to some pretty wild projections. You look at some of the forecasts, they're saying by 2050, we could have as many as 78 million humanoid robots working in the US alone. I mean, that's not just a new piece of equipment, that completely reshapes the entire idea of a workforce. So that leads to the big question, right? Why? Why the massive push? Well, it all boils down to one thing, the promise of a productivity revolution. We're talking about something that could make all previous industrial revolutions look, well, kind of small. And if you look at the business case, it's pretty stark. You know, a human worker, we need breaks, we get sick, we need vacations. But a robot, it can potentially work 24/7, no fatigue, and with incredible precision. You can't argue with that logic from a purely business perspective. It's compelling. And this really gets to the heart of the vision they're selling. Imagine a factory that just doesn't stop, ever. It just runs with perfect efficiency around the clock. The potential gains in productivity are, well, they're astronomical. Okay, but it's just not that simple. That perfect utopian vision of nonstop productivity, it's hitting some very real, very practical roadblocks. We've got to talk about the risks and the serious doubts people have. Because the truth is, we're not quite there. Not yet. I mean, think about the hurdles. How do you make sure a 200-pound robot is safe to work next to a person? Are they actually reliable? And the initial cost. It's still sky high.
And don't forget, a lot of these so-called autonomous robots, they're actually being controlled by a human somewhere else through teleoperation. So they're not exactly working on their own, are they?
Okay, so setting aside the tech problems for a minute, all this money, all this progress, it leads to the biggest question of all, the one that really matters. What happens to us? What does this mean for the future of human jobs? And this is really the core of the whole debate. On one hand, yeah, there are entire job categories that look like they're in the crosshairs. We're talking logistics, warehouse work, assembly lines. I mean, these are jobs that millions of people rely on.
But then there's the other side of the coin, right? The job creation argument. Somebody has to build these things, program them, maintain them. We're going to need robot technicians, AI specialists, and probably a bunch of creative jobs we haven't even thought of yet. It's the classic disruption story playing out all over again.
And, you know, there's a whole other layer to this that has nothing to do with money or jobs. What does it do to you psychologically? I mean, to work all day next to a machine that looks like a person, moves like a person, but isn't one. What does that do to your morale, your sense of self? It's a really deep question we're just starting to grapple with. Which really brings us to the big finale here. Are we ready for this? If this future is barreling towards us, and it seems like it is, how prepared are we to actually deal with it? Yeah, and this is where we need to shift the whole conversation. It's not really about if they're coming anymore. All signs point to yes. The real urgent question we need to be asking is how do we prepare for when they get here? And that preparation can't just be talk. It has to be concrete action. First, you need ethical rules. What are they allowed to do? What aren't they? Then, you absolutely need clear safety standards. And maybe the biggest piece of all, we have to start training people for the jobs of the future instead of just trying to protect the jobs of the past. So we'll leave you with this question to think about. When you picture that robot coworker, do you see an amazing upgrade for humanity, something that's going to push us all forward? Or do you see a threat to our jobs, our livelihoods, and maybe even our purpose? The thing is, this future is being built as we speak, and the answer to that question, well, that's still up to us.